you're one of them, aren't you? You're one of them. Don't come in, please. Don't come in. Please. I'm not gonna hurt you. Where the hell were you? I was over there with them. I was trying to call for the help. One more button done, or one button done? What do you think? Okay.
3, 2, 1, we're back. And welcome to the Pod.
Maybe one button undone. One extra button undone.
Absolutely. Nice sunglasses.
Thank you very much. Thank you. By the way,
yes.
To Philippe on eBay, thank you very much. This complimentary pair of the Peaches and Cream 80s vintage Carrera shades.
Is he a subscriber?
No.
Well, great.
But he will be after this.
All right. Listen, first of all, season's greetings.
Thank you, yes.
And may I just say this? What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, thank you.
I'll tell you what it is. Okay. It's Die Hard. That's what it is.
2.
No. Just the original Die Hard, best Christmas movie ever.
That's what you think? All right. Fine.
Beg to differ?
I beg to differ.
How can Die Hard 2 be better than Die Hard 1?
Yo, Colonel, blow me. How much drug money did Esperanza pay you to turn traitor? Hold on. I think Cardinal Richelieu said it best. History is merely a matter of dates. This country's got to learn. It can't keep coming off the legs of people like General Esperanza. Men who have the guts to fight up to communist aggression. Now those words were exclaimed by the antagonist of Die Hard Part 2. Okay. Colonel Stewart, played by William Sadler.
Right. Is he the one with a bit of epoxy skin?
No. Who are we talking about there? Robert Davi.
I don't know. There's one with the slicked back hair. Blondie.
Yeah,
there's one with a beard.
The one with the beard is Franco Nero.
Okay.
Great Italian actor. Right. Okay. From the 60s and 70s. Okay. And William Sadler is the Colonel Stewart. Okay. The main antagonist. Okay. Who does rock some organic carrot hair dye and is the main antagonist of Die Hard Part 2.
Right.
The greatest Christmas film of all time.
So if you haven't guessed, he's here, Mr. Sunglasses is here to argue that Die Hard 2 is better than 1. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Continue.
All right. Now I understand
this
is like a mountain to climb. It's like overcoming an avalanche. But an avalanche is exactly where this film is almost set. Okay? Snow-filled, right? Christmas Eve.
Right. Where?
Dulles International Airport.
Right.
Do you remember the trailer?
Was that Washington, D.C.?
Correct.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Isn't that Rocky 4?
Yeah, but also the trailer of Die Hard 2.
Okay.
When they're doing it like letter by letter. D.
Okay.
I.
Fine. So this
How can the same shit happen to the same guy twice? Another elevator, another basement.
That is a great line.
You like that one?
That's a great line. That's
okay,
the best thing about Die Hard 2. Now let's just backtrack a little bit.
All right,
okay. Die Hard, massive success.
Which one of your favorite movies of all time?
Absolutely. Yeah. When did it come out?
1988.
I mean, almost a perfect film.
Okay.
1988.
I'm not disputing
Out
that.
of the blue. I still don't get the part with the toes and the knuckles and making fists. But anyway, I digress. If you know, please comment, like, subscribe. But you're saying Die Hard 2 is better. Now listen, how long after Die Hard 1 did Die Hard 2?
2 years.
Okay. So massive box office. How did Die Hard 2 do?
Even better than its predecessor.
Okay.
But this is not surprising given the fact that the first film
was such a massive success.
And of course it was done on a relatively low budget with a then TV actor called Bruce Willis.
Absolutely.
Whose acting credits were mainly for Moonlighting and a couple of films like Blind Date starring Kim Basinger.
Not a bad film.
But I mean, he was obviously cast massively against type in that film.
Yeah, he was.
And that script had been turned down by more famous, celebrated, action pioneers of the time.
Arnie, Sylvester.
And so on and so forth, right?
Jim Varney.
Correct, exactly. And Mark Dacascos.
Okay.
So in their absence, there was a vacuum that was left, okay?
Yeah.
And Mr. Willis stepped in, was paid an astonishing for its time, $5 million to play John McClane. Right. And I think some studio executives actually balked that figure, considering he wasn't a box office draw. But obviously their patience and presumably John McTiernan and 20th Century Fox's faith in him was obviously, repaid many times over.
Absolutely.
Biggest, still today's kind of celebrated as the greatest action film of all time, Die Hard.
Right.
And one of the great Christmas films of all time.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a question mark on whether it is a Christmas film or not. I mean, yes, it's set in Christmas, but does it have the Christmas themes? Listen, for me, it works.
I think
But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here for you to try to,
convince you
convince me that Die Hard 2 is better.
So basically, in the second film, okay, the same shit's happening to the same guy twice. This time not set in Nakatomi skyscraper, but rather Dallas International Airport, okay, where a commando unit led by Colonel Stewart, okay, who bunch of disavowed kind of,
Obviously doesn't have
ex-Green
boxer
Berets.
skin.
No, he doesn't. Okay, have basically taken control of the control tower. Have managed to hijack the communication lines that go from the control tower to the airplanes that are currently circling around Washington D.C. and need a place
Christmas
to land.
time, it's snowing, it's busy.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful. No, so delightful.
Now, here's the thing. Why is John McClane at the airport?
Okay, so John McClane's in the airport because his wife, with whom he is reconciled, after the events of Die Hard Part 1, okay, and how could you not, considering he is now...
Holly Gennaro.
Exactly. No, Holly McClane now.
Ah, yes.
You remember?
Just checking.
Yes, okay. So she's coming from a business meeting, and she is due to land in the next sort of 90 to 120 minutes, right? And he's there just sort of biding his time, waiting around, and he sees some suspicious activity in the two guys suspiciously going into the luggage
storage room.
Exactly right. Yeah. Okay, where he announces himself. Okay, and they open fire with a Glock 7, a porcelain gun made in Germany.
Yes.
Okay.
Key detail.
It won't show up on your computers, and it costs more than you earn in a month, which you said to Carmine Lorenzo. You'd be surprised what I earn in a month. If it's more than $1.98, hey, McClane, stop believing your own hype. I know the press thinks you're some hot shit because I don't know Nakatomi shit, but this is my pond now, and I am the big fish that runs it. So I'll send your captain in LA a commendation.
Okay, listen.
All right.
Again, we're getting
I'm just giving you some description territory.
Yes,
just getting into character.
But why is it better?
Okay, so first of all, the opening action scene is fantastic. Okay, where he's chasing these guys on the kind of the conveyor belt.
I'll give you a leg up here.
And then
better tagline. Same shit happened to the same guy twice. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Okay.
So then McClane basically is fighting within the airport with the bureaucracy, a bit like he did in the first one, right? Although here he's like doing it in person rather than on the radio.
Right.
So Carmine Lorenzo, played by Dennis Franz of NYPD Blue, is the very what's it called? Stonewalling bureaucratic head of the airport. Okay, head of the airport police. Okay, and above him, great actor Fred Dalton Thompson, who was a senator. Do you know Fred Dalton Thompson?
No.
Very like kind of sterling actor, big heavyset guy who starred actually in Days of Thunder. He's in a lot of films and often plays political types. No Way Out. He's actually the head of the airport.
Right.
Mr. Trudeau.
Yes. I know.
Okay?
I know.
He's a little bit more open to McClane's suggestion that listen. Somebody's about to seriously fuck with this airport. I know we're dummies here, McClane, but why don't you tell us something? I don't know, just shut the place down, okay? And then the thing I like, which is he manages to get an audience with Trudeau and says to him, "Listen, okay, this is the resume of a professional mercenary. You've got the world's biggest drug dealer on his way here now. What do you need a slap to figure this out? Or maybe another dead body in a bag? Hey, you gave us that body. You remember that? Yeah, I remember. Okay, so General Esperanza, okay.
Listen, okay, again, I'm going to help you here.
Right,
Are you saying the character of Franz and, who's the other guy, Trudeau?
Franz is the actor's name.
I know.
Dobson.
Okay.
Oh, Carmine Lorenzo and Trudeau.
Exactly. Are you saying, because they're kind of counterparts to Al in the first film.
A little bit.
Are you saying they're better than Al?
No, they're not better than Al.
Okay.
But Barnes, okay, and Marvin.
Who's that? The cleaner. Okay, fine.
He's the hero of the movie.
Okay.
I thought we just tried to steal my records.
So he's the alternative Al character.
A little bit, yeah. Okay. So, but what's happening is
they're more like Agent Johnson.
Exactly. Special Agent Johnson, no relation. This reminds me of Saigon, eh, Slick? I was in junior high, dickhead. Anyway. So McClane starts piecing it together that these guys we killed aren't luggage thieves.
Right.
They are in fact like
international terrorists.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
and the fact that Franco Nero, okay, playing General Esperanza, great name by the way. I mean, you
Amazing.
gotta love a name.
Amazing.
From the Republic of Valverde.
Yes,
Now,
that's
can I just reference what Valverde is? Valverde was a fictitious, basically banana republic referenced in lots and lots of 80s films.
Really?
Commando. What do you call? I think some Chuck Norris films.
Okay.
They always use Valverde as this kind of replacement
South American
for
banana republic.
Exactly.
Okay,
For, you know, like
dictatorship.
El
So
Salvador.
wait a minute.
So he's being
Why is that?
extradited.
Yes. Okay. So why does that exist? Is it because like there's the same writer worked on all these films?
Oh, I don't know actually. That's a good question because there's no reason. Maybe they wanted. Maybe in the interest.
Topic for a future post, I think.
True. Valverde.
Yeah.
Where is Valverde? But I think it's obviously like a stand-in for like
Sure.
Guatemala, El Salvador. And presumably they didn't want to.
Obviously, single any country out.
Exactly
Yes.
right, except for the Soviet Union
Right.
at that point, right? So he's being extradited to Washington D.C. to stand trial for drug dealing. Okay, although he was fighting the communists, as Colonel Stewart said. So one man's terrorist, another man's freedom fighter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Merci. You must eliminate the terrorists. Okay. Anyways. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought now. So Esperanza's being brought on this like cargo jet. Okay, so McClane is like not buying the fact these guys were luggage thieves. He thinks that somebody's gonna basically fuck with this airport. And true to form, he finds out that Colonel Stewart and his men have basically taken over this nearby church. Okay, have this very sophisticated airport equipment, okay, and are basically saying we're going to start crashing planes. We're going to start crashing planes unless when Esperanza lands, you release him. Okay, tension builds up. What are these airport security men and this what are you? You're nodding your head in disapproval.
You're describing the film to me.
All right, so
I want to know why it's better than Die Hard 1.
Okay, so I'm okay. So the action sequences.
Okay,
I
fine.
think the action sequences are actually better.
Right.
Okay, and I'm going to point a few out to you.
Sure.
All right. The first scene, okay, in the luggage room is a great action sequence. Okay.
Right.
The crashing of Windsor 114. Okay. Which
Right.
is a very, very stomach-churning scene. Okay. It's like not for the faint
I
of heart.
mean,
It's
I
a
think-
fantastic scene where Bruce Willis manages to intercept what he's hearing on the radio. He knows they're going to try and he knows they're going to crash the plane. He manages to get onto the tarmac, and with these kind of how does he inflames these two rods?
Yes.
To try and
Flares.
To try and notify
the plane,
the pilots.
Yeah.
But it's too late, right?
Yeah.
That's a fantastic scene. The scene in the the Annex Skywalk. Okay,
Yes.
is where a young Robert Patrick pre T2 fame, they're using that as a kind of a base.
Yeah.
And Carmine Lorenzo's men think that they're just guys painting the walls. In fact, they're part of the mercenary group. Okay, and they take out all of Lorenzo's men, and then McClane descends upon that from the kind of the air vent. Okay, takes that out, and then the concluding scene in that the concluding shot is when that kind of that rack hits him on the back.
Yeah.
And he's not the elevator, the
What is that? The conveyor belt.
the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
His gun is a few feet away.
Yeah.
He can't reach it. The terrorist on the other
Yeah,
side
sees.
can seize it. He's running towards the gun.
Yeah.
McClane can't get
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
And he tries to just
Yes.
turn it on.
Yeah.
And right at the last second, he manages to grab the gun and gun him down. Okay. And that's obviously a pivotal point that heightens tensions. Lets these guys know how for real this terrorist group is. Right now. Okay. You're gonna interject.
But hold
Okay.
on. You're saying those action scenes
Yeah.
are better than when the henchmen and the bad guys in Die Hard 1 enter Nakatomi Plaza. You're saying it's better than the shootout with the glasses breaking and McClane cutting his
That's a great shoot. Okay. Yeah.
cuts his feet. You're saying it's better than when he jumps off with the hose pipe wrapped up.
Great scene.
It's none of those are better than those.
Okay,
scenes.
well, I haven't finished. You named a few scenes. Okay,
No, I'm just saying. Okay,
what about the scene in?
I don't think anything beats those scenes.
What about the scene when they are actually in the when they descend upon the church? Okay,
Yes.
McClane and Barnes and
Yes,
the
yes,
airport
yes, yes.
security guys descend upon the church with Major Grant's unit. Do you remember Major Grant, played by John Amos?
Sure. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Do you want? Should we give a spoiler away here?
Go ahead.
Okay, so at the midway point in the scene, they send in a commando unit, okay, that they think will help Airport and John McClane's efforts in trying to, kind of shut these terrorists down. And they bring in Major Grant.
Exactly.
Who was a...
he should have stuck to McDowell's Burgers, if you ask me, but hey.
He'd still be alive.
He took a career change.
It's true. Very good. So so Major Grant was basically his like mentor.
Yeah.
Okay. Unbeknownst to the goodies, the good guys, Major Grant has also affiliated himself and aligned himself with Stewart. They don't realize this amazing shootout in the church, and then on these snowmobiles takes place, where Major Grant's unit replaces their machine guns that have real ammunition with fake ones. McClane doesn't realize this because he thinks that they're on opposite sides, and he has this snowmobile battle where he intercepts one of them. He manages to evade the gunfire.
Sure.
The snowmobile goes careens off the slopes.
There's some good snowmobile action.
He blows up. Fine. He jumps off. He kind of
rescues. That's not the first time we've seen stuff like that.
And by the way, the other amazing scene, the cockpit scene. You don't remember the cockpit? When he ejects himself.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Yeah, now you're on my side. Yeah, all right, go on.
That's the one
you like that
better
scene.
Action
Why don't you tell our audience about this scene?
I can't remember. And also the last action scene where he does his famous line.
Oh, so you're warming to this.
No. But the thing is, here's the thing.
Okay.
The scenes we see, those action sequences in Die Hard 1, are very original. We hadn't seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
Okay? But with Die Hard 2, we've seen a bit of that bang bang, pow pow, snowmobiles,
In what? Missing in Action 2?
I mean, in a lot of films. Code
of Silence?
Perhaps. So I don't think it wins on... I don't think it's better. I mean, maybe it's bigger action, but it's not better action.
Okay, it's bigger. Okay, well, fine. We're not diverging too much on this. Okay, and you do think the cockpit scene is like a great, really well shot scene.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, that actual like shot of him, taken from above, where like he comes, he said he was a policeman. Who is he? His name is McClane. He's like, McClane, I assume it's you, McClane. You've proven yourself to be some hell of a foot soldier. Well, you can consider this a military funeral. How many grenades we got? 3 each. Use them. And he's like looking around. He's like, the Willis.
Yeah.
And then he ejects himself just as the plane explodes.
Detonate.
And then he lands on the parachute. The the ambulance and the police are about to arrive. The terrorists have to They have to
get the hell out of there.
Yeah, get the hell out of there. And Colonel Stewart, as he sees McClane descending on the parachute, he says, "You lucky fuck." Right? So, action scenes, right? Okay, plot twist. Now, I love the plot twist of Major Grant.
Right.
Okay,
fine.
Basically being an accomplice, aligning himself with Stewart and Esperanza's crew. Right? I love that scene, okay? And I also love the scene when McClane, the big reveal. The big reveal is when McClane survives a snowmobile attack, and he's like, I had the guy in my sights. And he pulls out the cartridge from the machine gun, and he sees it's filled, and he's like, but the audience doesn't know at that point what he's discovered.
Yeah.
But that's great storytelling.
Sure.
So he's looking, he's breathing, and then essentially, when he manages to find his way back to the airport, Lorenzo and co have decided to basically do it the other way. They're basically going to give Colonel Stewart everything he wants. And then McClane turns up, and he's basically been beaten to shreds, and his shirt has turned from white to brown to green to red, blah blah blah. And
classic
he said,
Die Hard trope.
Classic Die Hard trope. And he says, McClane, why don't you get that? Whatever. He's reprimanding him, and he's like, Grant's gonna take down Stewart and etc. He's like, he's not. He's on the same team. He's gonna get on the same plane with him. He's like, are you not? In fact, you're under arrest. And he pushes him back, and he starts unloading the blanks on him.
Yeah.
And which, by the way, I always thought was actually, it's a great scene, but it's actually very unrealistic, because in truth, if that scene was actually happening in real life, the other policeman
Would shoot back.
Of course, they wouldn't have waited to see that they were blanks, right? It's actually like not very like cunning plan to. Okay, and then he says, "That's what they were firing at. They're blanks." Then Lorenzo has this like, "It's time to kick ass." He's like, and then Marvin, he's like, "Just like Iwo Jima." I'm not. He's obviously a World War II vet, right? So I like the grand reveal here.
Okay.
Also, you know what else?
You like the twist? Okay,
I like there's a twist there. Okay,
but there's also a twist in Die Hard 1.
What's the twist?
Well, the fact that Alan Rickman, you know, the fact Hans Gruber pretends to be like just one of the hostages within the Nakatomi Plaza.
No, but you know,
I get it. Yes.
No, but I mean that's not a twist for the audience.
No, but it is. But yes, you're right. You're right. It's not a twist for the audience, but the way he plays that off, you're like, wow.
Should I do the impression? Go. With his appalling attempts to his appalling attempt playing
California
no, because he's supposed to be a German, then trying to put on an American accent. He's like, "Oh, you're one of them, aren't you? You're one of them. Don't come in, please. Don't come in, please. I'm not gonna hurt you. Where the hell were you? I was over there with them. I was trying to call for help." And I'm thinking about this is like deliberately like that badly like what do you call it executed, and it's like do you smoke? Yeah. What's your name? Clay. Bill Clay. Right, and then but that's actually become a very like parodied scene for like the way he kind of like exaggerates his panic, right? But there is no real twist in it. Also, this is another thing, by the way. Dick Thornburg, who was kind of the sleazy, the media guy.
Yes.
The reporter, who's in
both films.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But in a bid in the first one to kind of uncover what's happening at Nakatomi through his morally dubious investigative reporting, ends up compromising the situation at the end, right? For Holly and John McClane. And in the second film, he's obviously in the airplane. He's sitting opposite Holly McClane, against whom he has a restraining order for punching him in the face. And they're on the same plane. Unbeknownst to them, throughout most of the film, they don't know what's going on down below. And he's actually an excellent reporter. It's a funny thing about Dick Thornburg, because he's actually an amazing reporter, but he uncovers, because he uncovers both kind of, not conspiracies, both
but he gets to the bottom. Yeah, he gets to the bottom.
But he actually does a great, and actually the skill and the craftsmanship with which he uncovers what's happening in Nakatomi, what's happening at Dulles, is handled quite expertly, actually. But I think the issue is that he's putting people's lives at stake, just for his own ego, right? And in the second film, obviously, as soon as he tries to communicate to his bureau, he tries to patch them in on what's happening in the thing.
Can we get back on track here?
We'll get back on track. I say the Dick Thornburg, that kind of.
So Thornburg better in 2 than in 1.
Well, I think he's got more screen time in 2, and he's a great sort of sub-villain, if you like, right?
He is.
So I like him more in that. Bonnie Bedelia, the wife, has, I would say, equal screen time in both. I think she's more in peril in the first one.
Yeah.
Especially at the end, right? Okay, so fine. But also, this is the thing I like. And you're going to obviously roll your eyes, I like Willis's look in it.
Okay, how's
in the second one, right? I like, so in the first one he's just wearing a tank top the whole way through, and he's barefoot, and I like whatever. It's become like, even that silhouette is very famous, right? Yes. But in the second one, like, first of all, I like the fact that he's in different he's in different outfits throughout.
Okay, you like the fact that he's in his
more
outfits in number 2.
Yeah.
For you, make number 2 the better film.
Yeah, so he's like in shirts and like puffer jackets.
That's the crux of this.
And he's got a shawl in one, right? He's got a shawl in one. He's like better dressed.
Okay, fine.
It's like I said to you about Richard Gere. You want Richard Gere to like look good in his films. Yes. I don't want him to look as he does in Summersby. I want him to look like in Power.
Grey hair in Summersby, though.
True, but yeah, it's true. He was rocking the chestnut hair.
Yeah, he was.
But look at Richard Gere in Power, for example. That's how I want Richard Gere to look, and I want Bruce Willis to also look a bit haggard. Like he does look haggard in both movies. Pinnacle Bruce Willis haggard look, Last Boy Scout.
Fine.
Right, which
Fine.
came out the year after.
Right.
But I think they really, really honed in on like this is what sells. Bruce Willis, unshaven, like borderline alcoholic.
Yes.
You know, wife is dissatisfied, is about to leave you. You know what I mean?
Married
You're,
to the
you know,
job.
smoking a lot,
Yeah.
drinking a lot, like burned out. You know, like with a really cool name like Joe Hallenbeck.
Yeah.
You know, isn't that a good name for like a burnout, right?
Fine.
And anyway, so I like his
Right
look more. Okay. So also,
Any other reasons why it's better?
Also, I must confess something else, okay? And this is obviously going to weaken my argument. I did see it first. Okay.
So you have more affinity.
I have a bit more affinity for it. 'Cause I saw it in the first in the cinema, and I saw Die Hard 1 subsequently
no,
thereafter.
I saw Die Hard 1 first.
How did you see it in the cinema? It was rated 18, and you were like... 11.
No, I saw it both of them on TV, I think.
Okay.
And I saw one first, I guess.
Okay, so I do have that kind of affection for it. Also, I love both directors because John McTiernan is a fantastic director who did Predator.
Absolutely.
And did Thomas Crown Affair, which I know you dearly love. And Rennie Harlin did Cliffhanger, which is another great movie. And it's funny, isn't it? Because when you... I mean, actually, like Die Hard 2 and Cliffhanger, they're both set in the snow. And Harlan is a Scandinavian film director. So he's obviously got a penchant for that kind of, atmospheric action.
Arctic conditions.
But I think both very, very well directed.
Yeah.
The score, by the way, in Die Hard 2 is very, very... it has a real sense of foreboding, the score.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So score better. Yeah. I mean, it's a shame because you're right. You know, Die Hard 2 is a very good film.
It's a very good film.
But ground was primarily broken in Die Hard 1. The fact that the hero was not, at that time, some big muscle-bound, strong man, and wasn't like so kind of focused and was a bit sarcastic.
Yeah.
And as you say, a burnout. Kind of for the first time, audiences were like, wow, this is something new, this is something different. We'd seen it by the time 2 came around.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So I think that, takes away from the luster of 2 a little bit.
Yeah, listen, okay, I mean, Bruce Willis, obviously, like, he cornered that market of the wisecracking action man, every man, if you like, right?
Exactly.
And I think he kind of, he like, shot to superstar and played those kind of roles. And, in fairness to him and the Die Hard franchise, that concept was then mimicked in lots of other films, Under Siege, obviously.
Absolutely.
I mean, being like the main one.
Yeah.
And Under Siege 2 Dark Territory, starring Eric Bogosian as the bad guy. By the way, 2 thumbs up from Siskel and Ebert, by the way, Under Siege 2.
Very good.
It's not bad. And you know what? Something else. I did my research on this. Siskel and Ebert, 2 thumbs up for Die Hard 2, split vote on Die Hard 1, and it made Siskel's top 10 films of 1990, which is, pretty good rarefied air to be in, all right? So that's it. Also, one thing that I also like, and people diverge on this point, right?
Yes.
The ending of both films.
Yeah.
Right? The ending of both films. One thing about the ending of one that always bothered me massively. Actually, that's a great opportunity to talk about this. There's one thing in one, and I think I don't disagree with you that it's almost perfect film. After Alexander Goodenough, the Alexander Goodenough character, Carl, the one with the long blonde hair, who's on a revenge mission because his brother is the first terrorist killed. Okay, he wants to kill McClane himself, and they end up having that with the penultimate fight when he basically, essentially, like he hangs him on a steel kind of chain. Okay, I never liked that final shot in Die Hard when after all the dust has settled and Holly and John are reunited, that he emerges almost like a slasher film out of like this burning building. This is a skill that this is not the kind of Nightmare on Elm Street
film. That's one of the best parts. Because the fact that Al gets to fire his gun again
as redemption.
I mean, and to save the life of this guy who he's just met, but they formed such a bond with.
Yeah,
I think is exceptional storytelling.
Do you not find though?
It doesn't bother me that much. It doesn't bother me that much.
I get it.
Because he could have just been unconscious.
No, but I think if it had, I'm not saying Al shouldn't have had his kill.
No, I get it, but the guy,
redemption.
he's been choked, right? And you can just you can render somebody unconscious just by choking them.
By the way, when you look at the scene and how high up The building is
yes, granted.
and the
like,
fact that he would essentially emerge from this blast, right? From that he wouldn't kind of go into hiding. I understand that he's hell bent on revenge. I get it, okay. But what I'm saying is that it just came across too much like a slasher film.
Great. Like so how is 2 better?
What I like about 2 is on the final sequence which is a very cool sequence when they take the helicopter and he jumps off the helicopter onto the airplane's wing, and he has this fight with first John Amos, who he essentially kicks into the I don't know what it's called, one of the engines.
Yeah.
I don't know if the engine would be able to take off after it's sucking him in.
I mean, the other engine still works.
Can one engine work?
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's the second fight with against William Sadler, where he's doing his kata. Yeah. And by the way, great ass shot of William Sadler in the opening scene. You know, in the beginning when they're like,
yeah,
and he's kind of butt naked doing the kata. Yeah, quite very homoerotic. So the last scene, and he's basically like kind of like kicking McClane's ass.
Yeah.
And at the very last minute, and that's actually it's quite clever how he he kicks him off and he's able to like open the
hatch,
the fuel hatch, okay, and he falls off, and the terrorists, I mean, some like 24 of them are in the plane about to take off, lighting their cigars. They're about to go to the tropics, okay, and again, I remember watching for the first time. I'm like, what's he so smug about, McClane? As he's like, he's like kind of recovers himself on there's like that look again, and then he recovers,
that is a great,
and it's taking off. And then he takes his light. I'm like, oh my god, yippeekiyay, motherfucker! Yeah. And he sets, this kind of like this fire trail that explodes. Absolutely. And it's interesting. Like I did try and Google to see if that would actually be possible, and it's been a bit debunked as being not that plausible. But it came across as like plausible and
impossible.
Authentic. It came across as authentic and plausible. And no,
I'll give you that as well. That's a good ending. Okay.
You like the ending.
Okay, so just to sum up here.
Yes.
Better score for you.
Better score for me, but both very good scores. I mean, both of them are great in every
Better outfits.
Better outfits from McClane. Better look for McClane. Better look for McClane.
And
not better villain.
And not better villain. And no, what was the other one?
Action set pieces. I give it number 2 the slight edge.
And the fact that you saw that one first.
And the fact that I saw it
your
first.
main 3 reasons. No, but I mean, I said the tagline, same shit happens to the same guy twice. Was that what they put on the poster? Maybe not. Either way.
I don't know.
But that's very good.
But
you couldn't have had that without the first one, so.
No, you couldn't have had that. Yeah. Okay, an addendum here. An addendum, okay. Because this is a Die Hard homage, okay, in the build up to Christmas, okay. The
Die Hard with a Vengeance is the best one.
I mean, they got progressively worse.
Yeah.
I liked Die Hard with a Vengeance. I had no time for number 4, Live Free or Die Hard, and the last one was
Die Harder. No, that was number 2, Die Hard.
There was Live Free or Die Hard, and then or whatever it was. Anyways,
Dead.
A Good Day to Die Hard.
Oh, yeah.
The 5th. Okay, the one in Russia.
Yeah.
Where they basically take down the entire Russia.
Yeah.
Don't bother. Okay, and the 4th one even was not good. I was very excited for it after that long hiatus. 3 though, I think not bad, with Jeremy Irons and Sam Jackson, and completely different kind of plot mechanism, completely different setting. Not bad. But a great series, and I would like to say that a shout out to another amazing Christmas action film that is far too seldom referenced, but was made the year before, is part of a series of films, action series of films, with the first one set around Christmas time. A film I dearly love, which I know you're not too much of a fan of, Lethal Weapon.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just saying, like,
I get it, but like,
it's Flowers as being an amazing,
but you must
dark,
agree that Lethal Weapon does no way near have the popularity of the Die Hard films.
I think
none of those Lethal Weapon films live up to the Die Hard films. You can't even compare them.
They're
so great. I mean, the Die Hard films are far more beloved.
They are far more beloved.
They're far more popular.
And I would say
they made far more money.
But I would have a strong case to say that Lethal 1 and 2 against Die Hard 1 and 2 is a good grudge match.
Since I don't want to sit here and listen to you describe both of those films for the next hour,
Yes.
we will leave it there. Tell us what you think. Which Die Hard do you guys like best? And we'll be back for the Lethal Weapon podcast.
And don't forget to quote Cardinal Richelieu from now on.
Always.
History is a matter of dates. Okay?
Goodbye.
Oh, I forgot to do it at the same
Switch off
time.
your lights.
Sorry, my bad.
That's all right.